Your next Social Security check may look noticeably different, and a lot of people won't realize what changed until they log in and see the deposit amount staring back at them. If you're just tuning in, welcome in and go ahead and say hello in the chat. Type where you're watching from, whether you're retired, getting Social Security, or planning to claim soon. I know many seniors join this stream because every single update matters when your entire monthly budget depends on a fixed income that doesn't always stretch as far as it used to. So settle in because today's breakdown touches directly on what affects your wallet, your benefits, and the future of your monthly check. And before we dive too deep, let me introduce the channel for anyone new here. This is Truth Lens, where we break down the fine print behind the headlines and look at what's really happening inside the systems that everyday Americans rely on. We keep everything transparent, straight to the point, and grounded in reality, especially for the seniors across America who are fighting harder each year to keep up with rising costs while living on Social Security. This is the place where we walk through it all together. Like a live Q&A for people who deserve honest information without political gloss or confusion. Now, let's get into why your check could look different. Many people don't realize this, but Social Security benefits aren't a flat amount. They're calculated individually based on decades of earnings. Everything you ever made, especially the highest earning years of your career, feeds into a formula that the Social Security Administration uses to determine your monthly benefit. For some people who work 35, 40, or even 45 years, this calculation shows the full weight of their lifetime effort. But for others who work part-time, raised children, took time off for health reasons, or had long gaps in employment, the numbers come out differently, and these calculations affect not just what you get now, but how your check rises or stays stagnant year after year. Every year, Social Security applies something called a cost of living adjustment. Most people know it as COLA. This COLA is meant to help your benefits stay in line with inflation. When the prices of everyday essentials, milk, bread, eggs, medication go up, your Social Security check is supposed to rise enough to keep your buying power somewhat stable. But many seniors in this community already know the truth. The COLA rarely feels like it covers what's really happening at the grocery store. Seniors write in here all the time saying they walk into a store today and feel like the prices jumped again overnight. And for people living on a fixed income where every dollar has a job, even small shifts in COLA make a huge difference. Over the past few years, inflation hit levels not seen in decades, and that meant larger COLA increases. Some were historically high, 8%, 9%, even double-digit increases, which helped a lot of seniors keep their heads above water. But now inflation is cooling, and that means the COLA going forward is expected to be smaller. Not a cut technically, but a smaller raise than people have gotten used to recently. For seniors already stretched thin, it can feel like being squeezed again. And for many of you watching right now, especially those who tell me that your rent, electricity, and medication costs are still climbing, smaller increases mean tougher months ahead. But the COLA isn't the only moving piece. There's a bigger, more long-term issue happening behind the scenes. Social Security's trust fund, the pool of money that helps stabilize the program, is projected to run into serious limitations in the next decade. For years, more money was coming in through payroll taxes than going out in benefits, which created a surplus. But now, the math is changing. Millions of baby boomers are retiring and collecting benefits. At the same time, fewer workers are paying into the system. When Social Security began, there were 16 workers for every retiree. Today, it's closer to 3 workers for every retiree, and in the future, it could drop to 2. That shift puts enormous pressure on a program millions rely on to survive. If nothing changes, Social Security will eventually only have enough money to pay around 80% of scheduled benefits. And for seniors here in the chat who rely on every penny to cover food, medication, housing, and basic needs, losing 20% would be devastating. Many seniors have already shared that their monthly checks barely cover the essentials as it is. So when we talk about the trust fund issue, it's not a political talking point. It's a real life concern for real people who depend on this income to live with dignity. There's also another personal factor that affects how much you get, the age you choose to claim benefits. Some people start at 62 because they need the money immediately, especially seniors who physically can't keep working or who have no savings left after a lifetime of bills, health issues, caregiving responsibilities, or layoffs. But starting early means permanently receiving a reduced amount. Others wait until full retirement age, 66 or 67, depending on the year you were born, to get the standard amount. And some wait until 70 to get the maximum possible benefit. That choice alone can change your check by 30% or more. For some people, waiting means a bigger monthly payment that lasts the rest of their life. But for others, waiting isn't an option because they need the money now just to stay afloat. Another reason some people see differences in their checks is related to government pensions. If you worked a job where you didn't pay Social Security taxes, like certain teaching, public safety, or government positions, your benefits may be reduced by rules called the windfall elimination provision or the government pension offset. These rules can surprise people because their Social Security check ends up lower than what they expected based on their work history. And many seniors caught in this situation message me saying it feels like they're being punished after a lifetime of serving their community. Taxes can also make your Social Security check look different than what you expected. Some retirees are shocked to learn that Social Security benefits can become taxable if their income crosses certain thresholds, if you're drawing from retirement accounts, earning investment income, or receiving a pension, part of your Social Security can be taxed. That means your net deposit, the actual amount that lands in your bank, could be much lower than the total listed on your statement. And as all of this unfolds, there are political debates happening across Washington about the future of Social Security. Some plans include raising the payroll tax cap, lowering benefits for higher earners, increasing the full retirement age, changing the benefit formula, or restructuring parts of the program. None of these ideas are universally liked, and they all affect someone differently. Seniors, in particular, carry a huge emotional weight around these discussions because these benefits aren't extra money, they're survival. So when we talk about your next check looking different, what we're really talking about is the intersection of all these factors. The COLA could be smaller. The long-term trust fund issue looms in the background. Your claiming age determines your baseline. Pensions can reduce the total. Taxes can take a slice. And depending on which direction lawmakers eventually move, the entire program could shift again. For seniors across America, especially those who come here daily, these changes aren't numbers on a chart. They're the difference between paying rent or